I'm not sure why I agreed to this. This is what happens when you say yes to every opportunity. You end up knee-deep in a Cornish hedge maze with a dead body bag at your feet. And if that wasn't enough, there's a grumpy old man shouting at you from behind a bush. Hi, I had to introduce you to another cozy mystery from the seaside town of Port Isaac in Cornwall. The quaint streets are hiding some dark secrets. So let's get to the bottom of them with our amateur sleuth, who finds herself in the middle of another murder investigation. If you like your mysteries served with a side of sarcasm, then this series is for you. Grab a cuppa and join us for a trip to Cornwall. It's a glorious day in Port Isaac. The sun is shining, and so is the newly refurbished bookshop. We are celebrating by hosting a classic car rally outside. As we open up, my team and I are greeted by a sea of gleaming chrome, polished mahogany, and excited chatter. I love these events. There's just something about classic cars that makes me feel nostalgic, even though I didn't live in the era they were made. As the cars are being shown off, the village starts to gather. I spot Mayor Blubber rushing over. I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who entered their classic cars today. He sighs through his megaphone. I hope you have a wonderful time here in Port Isaac. Now would the owner of the white van kindly move it? It's blocking the delivery. A woman with twinkling eyes and a mane of white hair steps out of the van. Don't be grumpy, Mayor. A little bird told me you had a soft spot for a classic mini. She winks as she drives away. That's Mrs. Petherick, the new owner of the bookshop next door, explains Joe, my assistant, as he hands me a box of deliveries. I hear she bought the shop to be closer to her dying sister. Ah, so that's what the sign said. I thought it meant she was a Jehovah's Witness. Joe laughs as we take the deliveries inside. We've only been in business a few months, so we're still getting deliveries from suppliers while we build up our stock. We need to find a new supplier for hardback classics, I say, sorting through the jumble of books. Our current supplier is taking too long to deliver. Joe frowns at the box in front of him. What's in this one? It's really heavy. I peer into the box and find a worn leather-bound book. Oh, that must be from Mrs. Petherick. It arrives separately from the rest of her stock. Let's see what we've got here. The book is quite large. It's covered in dust and bound in full leather. I run my fingers over the embossed design on the cover, but it's too worn for me to make anything out. Opening it, I find more dust, this time tinged with gold leaf. I sneeze violently and cough. What's that smell? I ask Joe. Reminds me of Granddad's attic, he replies. I turn the brittle pages, which are filled with indecipherable writing. Suddenly, something falls out. I reach inside the book and pull out a rolled piece of paper. Unfurling it, I find a message written in the same loopy handwriting as the book. It reads, "Beware the third book from the left on the third shelf. Look closely." Before Joe or I can reply, the bell above the door chimes and in walks a woman holding a magnifying glass. She has bright blue eyes and hair the color of faded denim. Have you found anything interesting? She asks. We just found this note, I say, handing her the paper. She reads it, then looks around the shop. Her gaze settles on a large bookcase in the corner. There's nothing to see here, I say quickly, realizing where her eyes are focused. The woman looks back at me. Are you sure? Because that's the third book from the left on the third shelf. Before I can respond, a hand drops on my shoulder. I jump and whirl around to find D.S. Ashton Carter standing there. Fancy seeing you here, I say sarcastically. He grins. Same as you, Jen. Here to buy a present for my niece. Do you know where I could find some kids' books? You'd be better off at Waterstones, but they don't have a cafe. So if you're looking for a place to hide a body, that's your best bet. He gives me a look. Still working on that quick wit of yours, I see. Why don't you come with me and help me find the perfect book? You can bring Joe along too. We'll make a day of it. I glare at him. Are you trying to bribe me? I suppose it is a form of bribery. But think of it as community service. Who knows? You might even find another mystery to occupy your busy sleuthing schedule. He winks and strides toward the counter. While Joe checks out Ashton's purchases, I slip out to follow Dee as Carter. I can't help myself. Ashton and I might not always see eye to eye, but I'm not going to pass up the chance to learn more about this mysterious book. We leave the harbor and walk along the coastal path with its breathtaking views of the Atlantic. Every now and again, a seal pops its head up to watch us pass by. So tell me, I say to Ashton, what exactly are we looking for? Just trying to trace the origin of the book, see where it might have come from, and how it ended up in a charity shop. Well, you came to the right person, I say, grinning. I'm a former librarian, remember? Right. Well, do you recognize the handwriting on the note? No, but I definitely recognize the ink. Most books are printed using black ink, but this one used purple ink. It's probably a rare edition. Now that I think about it, the whole book is extremely valuable. That's why it was pulped in acid-free tissue paper and why it was donated anonymously. We stop walking and I turn to face him. Where do you want to start looking? He looks out at the sea. Actually, I'd like to start at the beginning. Would you mind if I asked your friend Mrs. Petherick a few questions? Of course, I'm happy to help, but I couldn't help but notice the way Ashton looked at my bookshop earlier. Is he after more than just books? As we drive to the bookshop, I try to decide whether I should warn my friend. Then I realize there's no point. She's a tough cookie and she won't listen to me anyway. Mrs. Petherick opens the door and greets us with a smile. Just the person I wanted to see. I've been meaning to pop over to say hello. How are you settling in? Like a dream, she replies. These old buildings are a bit drafty, but with a few minor adjustments, it will be just right. She looks at Ashton. Can I help you? Just a few questions about a book, Ashton replies. Was there anything unusual about the donation? Oh, that must have been Thomas. He's been clearing out Gran's house, and he brought in all her books. He thought someone might find them useful. Do you know if she had any rare books? Not that I know of. She was an avid reader, though. Oh, here it is. She rummages in a drawer and pulls out a card file. Here's the list of her donations. You never know. It might have something on here. Ashton takes the card and examines it. Thomas, Do you know where he is right now? Should be back in a bit. He popped out to do an oil change on that white van you saw outside earlier. You know, the one that blocked your path to the bookshop. She smiles. Never let it happen again, will it, Thomas? The door opens and a man walks in. He's tall and thin with thinning hair and a strained expression. He glances at Ashton and then at the floor. Looking for something? Hi, Thomas. Just a couple of questions about the books you donated, Ashton says calmly. Did you know they were all from your mother? Yeah, I did. I cleared out her house. She went into a home last month, and you knew she liked reading. Yeah, she loved reading. Best thing she ever did, I suppose. He kicks at a loose floorboard. Did she have any rare books or valuable items in the house? Nope, not that I know of. I mean, aside from me, of course. He forces a weak smile. Aside from what? I ask. He looks uncomfortable. Nothing. I just need the bathroom. Do you have a toilet I could use? Down the hall, first door on the left. Mrs. Perthick says, it's out of bounds to customers because last week a lady sat on the toilet and wouldn't leave. Said she was waiting for a bus. I told her that was hardly acceptable, but she took a pot of our mint and chocolate coffee and left without paying. No way am I letting her do that again. Thomas nods. Makes sense. Thanks. He shuffles down the hall and disappears. Lovely lad, isn't he? Mrs. Petherick says brightly. Very, Ashton agrees. Once Thomas is gone, I turn to Mrs. Petherick. What's going on? What are you hiding? Hiding? I'm not hiding anything. Then why was he so uncomfortable? And why does he sound like he thinks you owe him money? You're making things up. Now you stay out of this. She turns away to hide her face. But it's too late. Ashton speaks up. That doesn't sound like a woman who's hiding nothing. Maybe she owes Thomas money, or perhaps Thomas is the one who owes her. She turns back to face us. Why would I owe him money? I haven't set eyes on the boy since he was 2 feet high. We were close until his father walked out. Then she turned her back on them both. Don't think I didn't notice, Mrs. P. I think I'll go check out the body bag, I say, trying to hide my surprise at the sudden family drama. Don't get any ideas, Ashton warns, noticing my grin. This is a serious investigation. As I walk back to the bookshop, I wonder if Thomas is the killer. Was the book worth that much? And why did someone kill for it? Meanwhile, back at the bookshop, Joe is helping a customer browse the shelves. Sorry, I'm late, I say, kissing his cheek. No worries, he replies, winking at me. Got a spare body bag you can lend me? Found a dead body. He points upstairs. Oh, great. Where'd you find it? In the living quarters. Looks like it's been up here a while. Must have come in with the deliveries. I rush up the stairs and throw open the door. Sure enough, leaning against my bed is a body bag. What is this thing doing here? But more importantly, who's in it? My heart is racing as I rip open the bag. Inside, I find a wax dummy dressed in a mac and a hat. Joe peeks over my shoulder. Not the most exciting body I've ever found, he says sheepishly. I thought it was real because it felt real. I may have accidentally murdered a mannequin. I burst out laughing. Come on, let's go downstairs. I bet Ashton is still looking for answers. As we descend the stairs, we pass Thomas. He's just emerged from the bathroom. Do you know who did this? I ask. He looks confused. Who did what? Don't play coy with me. You put this here, didn't you? And I know you killed the owner of the bookshop next door? He looks genuinely shocked. What are you talking about? I didn't kill anybody. I don't even know what you're talking about. He runs a hand through his hair. I really need to get to work on that van. It's going to be a bumper year for classic minis. And with that, he disappears out the door. I sigh. This case is becoming more complicated by the minute. To find out how our amateur sleuth solved the case of the vanishing librarian and the mysterious book, click here to watch the next episode. See you next time.